The law of assumption is a pretty mind-blowing concept that suggests our assumptions have the power to shape our experiences and reality. It's the idea that what we assume to be true will ultimately become our reality, whether that's positive or negative. I think one of the biggest misconceptions about the law of assumption is that it's some kind of magic trick where you just assume something will happen and then it does. But it's not that simple. The truth is, everything begins with our state of consciousness. Most people struggle to apply the law of assumption effectively in their lives because they don't understand the underlying principles. They might assume something will happen, but they're not actually in the right state of consciousness to make it a reality. It all depends on your state of consciousness. As Neville Goddard writes, "A man's consciousness is all that he thinks and desires and loves, all that he believes is true and consents to." Another misconception is that the law of assumption is only about positive thinking. While positive thoughts are definitely important, it's not just about repeating affirmations to yourself or fake it till you make it style thinking. The law of assumption is about being completely honest with yourself about what you truly believe is possible and then taking action to make it happen. When you assume and deeply believe something will happen, you start to take action as if it's already true, without any need for external forces. If you know a way to sell 1 million book copies tomorrow, will you not start writing the book today? That's the type of conviction we need when applying the law of assumption. But again, it all depends on your state of consciousness, which is, as Neville said, "A man's consciousness is all that he thinks and desires and loves, all that he believes is true and consents to." If you're still struggling to understand the law of assumption, it might be because you're thinking about it in a superficial way. You might be thinking, "Oh, I'll just assume I'm going to get that promotion and it'll happen." But the law of assumption goes much deeper than that. It's about understanding that your thoughts and beliefs have real power over your reality. When you assume something will happen, you start to believe it on a deep level, and that's when your whole perspective starts to shift. The law of assumption is also not about forcing something to happen that's not meant to be. It's about being open to the possibility that your assumptions might not be true and being willing to adapt and change your perspective as needed. This is where the real growth happens, because you start to see that your assumptions are not fixed. They can change and evolve as you do. Goddard writes, "To reach a higher level of being, you must assume a higher concept of yourself." This means you have the power to rewrite your assumptions and evolve. The assumptions that you have of yourself, of life, of people, and of your goals must change. A person who believes and therefore assumes that the world is insecure acts proportionally to that belief in everything that presents itself to them. Think about it. Now, how do thoughts and beliefs influence outcomes according to the law of assumption? Well, when you assume something will happen, you start to think about it in a certain way. You start to imagine how it will feel, what it will look like, and what steps you need to take to make it happen. This begins to shape your reality because it changes how you perceive the world around you. For example, if you assume you're going to have a great day, you start to notice all the good things that are happening, and you're more likely to interact with people in a positive way. Let's say you assume you're going to get that promotion I mentioned earlier. You start to think about how it will feel to have a new title, how it will impact your life, and what steps you need to take to prepare for the new role. You start to dress more professionally, take on more responsibilities, and network with the right people. This begins to shape your reality because you start to see yourself in that role, and you start to take action to make it happen. Goddard illustrates this beautifully. An assumption builds a bridge of incidents that lead inevitably to the fulfillment of itself. One of my favorite examples of the law of assumption in action is a story about a man who was on a mission to buy his dream car. He assumed he would get the car, even though he didn't have the money for it yet. So he started taking action as if he already had the car. He started to read reviews, talk to people who owned the car, and even visualize himself driving it. A few months later, he got an unexpected promotion and was able to afford the car. Did he just get lucky, or did his assumptions about getting the car actually shape his reality? Think about it. The law of assumption has the power to transform your life in incredible ways. And the most important thing is that the law of assumption is not just about getting what you want, it's about becoming the person you need to be to achieve your goals. When you assume something will happen, you start to grow and evolve as a person. You develop new skills, new perspectives, and new habits that help you achieve your goals. A person once said, "The goal of reading 100 books is not to really need 100 books, but to become a reader." The goal of a millionaire should not be the millions, but becoming a person who can make millions. Any goal that you have must transform you into a better person. So what can you take away from this video? The law of assumption is not just some woo-woo concept. It's a powerful tool that can help you shape your reality. It's not just about positive thinking. It's about being honest with yourself about what you truly believe is possible. And it's not just about getting what you want. It's about becoming the person you need to be to achieve your goals. Thanks for watching. If you've had any experiences with the law of assumption, I'd love to hear about them in the comments below. And if you want to learn more about related topics, be sure to check out my next video.